One of the primary influences on my ministry and really on the DNA of Columbia Church is Tim Keller. Back in 2004, when I was finishing up seminary, I took a class on church planting. It was really the first exposure that I had to a theology of church planting, and the first time when I started to pray through whether I was called to that work. And one of the required reading assignments for that class was the Redeemer Presbyterian Church Church Planting Manual. Most of that material has since become the book Center Church, but this was back before Tim Keller had written anything. He was known as a church planter, but hadn't written all the books that he's written now. And so this material, you had to email the church, and they basically sent you this, Kinko's copy, spiral-bound notebook full of paper that was the Church Planter's Manual. And it was just powerful, wonderful, really, really rich material, and shaped a lot of the early DNA. The way I conceived of what do I want Coram Deo Church to be was shaped a lot by that church planting manual and by the understanding that Redeemer had of cultural analysis, of cultural engagement, and of how to apply the gospel in late modern culture. So because of that influence on me and on our church's DNA, it was obviously a great honor for me to be invited to be a fellow at the Keller Center for Cultural Apologetics. The goal of this center is not to venerate Tim Keller, nor even really to carry on the legacy of Tim Keller. Rather, the goal of the center is to continue to do the kind of work that Keller has done particularly well and that has helped the church in post-Christendom culture. And that's specifically the work of cultural analysis and cultural apologetics. In other words, applying the gospel to the particular questions, idolatries, fears, concerns of late modern culture. And so that's a work that I feel passionate about, something God's given me some grace to do. I'm excited to contribute to this center. As we think about the mission of Coram Deo Church, we describe it in 4 ways. We say that the mission of our church is to worship God. God is, of course, primary. To make disciples, that is living out the Great Commission. To plant churches, and then to spur gospel renewal everywhere. And it's really that 4th part of our mission as a church that this center helps us to fulfill. This is an opportunity for me and for us together to help to spur gospel renewal by equipping the church in America and the church in Western culture generally for more effective evangelism in a context that is increasingly post-Christian and therefore does not share Christian assumptions and biblical assumptions about reality. So we want to explore and do research into the questions that people are asking and try to conceive of ways for the church to engage those things meaningfully with the gospel. And so I'm excited to serve in this capacity and hope it's a blessing to our church as well as we get the opportunity to invest in serving the church in our country and in our world.